Yo.
So we just had one exciting guy from Big Ten's on, Rich
Who
Lovett.
was it?
Rich Lovett.
Okay.
He's so fun. And now we're taking the excitement level up even more. Like now it's like that was fun. Now it's, dude, you were, I think, the talk of the Big Tens. Like that was what right away everybody's talking about. I know from you coming on the podcast, and I tweeted it back out, like you wanted that Mason Parris match, and you got it. And like a minute to go, you're like, come on, bring it. Were you thinking about that tweet with a minute to go?
I looked at the tweet before I went out. Actually, I remembered it for a long time now, and I was saving it for a while, especially since like we brought it up back on the last podcast. And I think there was the time was coming, and I told you guys the time was gonna get near there, and there was the right time to showcase my inner heel side in me. So it was a perfect time.
Yeah, man, I loved it. But now your beard, is that like natural? Does it pop like that naturally, or do you put something in it?
Hold on. Stop yelling. Stop yelling.
The life of an NCAA athlete.
Bro.
Yelling. All that yelling. No, the beard grows like this, like regular. Like, I don't do nothing to it. All I do is just get it lined up. It's crazy to me too. Like it flushes in perfect. I think
it pops, dude. Looks good, man.
Was that a heel move? Was the heel move like, let me grow a beard? This is heel Gable. By the way, somebody tweeted to me like, because I tweeted a couple months ago, like, who's the face and who's the heel in wrestling? And after this weekend, someone's like, so Spencer's the face and Gable's the heel. And I'm like, I don't know, because Gable's getting so many people entertained and so many more people are loving it. I don't know if you could say you're the heel because you're winning. It's not like you're calling people out or doing something or ducking people. You're going out there, you're facing everybody and winning. Like, would you consider yourself the bad guy or the heel?
I don't really want to be the bad guy. I don't really want to be the villain, but I like to have the tendency to have like the showmanship mid-match. And I think it brings just a different crowd to the sport of wrestling too. Yeah. Because a lot of people that follow me are like younger kids that are trying to get into wrestling, and they show all their friends the videos, and it's crazy. Like I'll do one thing, like just like bring it here, and kids go crazy. And
I go crazy. I'm 34 years old.
It's just like, I don't know. It's just like how I've been forever. I don't like the villain. I don't like the bad guy.
That's what I'm saying. I don't think you are the bad guy.
I like talking and bringing a lot of people to the matchups, but at the end of the day, it's just I don't think I'm a bad person in any way. I just talk my own way to gain exposure for all of us.
Yeah, man, and like you help not just yourself by doing that, but the sport in general. You know, and you look like you're just being you out there, and you're having fun with it, and you're like, yo, come on, bro, let's get it. Like, that's pretty much it. Like,
and not for nothing, your following went from 150 to 151,000 followers over the weekend. You know,
that went from 148.
Really?
Yeah, it went up like 3,000 like a week.
I saw it,
like not even a week, like 2 days.
Yeah, I saw it Sunday. It was like 150, and today I'm like, it's 151. Biggest audience in college wrestling. That's wild. And you know, so I have media access for NCAAs, and even though it's all virtual, which kind of stinks, but I saw you're doing a virtual press conference tomorrow. Yes. And I was thinking about hopping in. And what I wanted to ask you to kind of tee up the question, which I'll ask now, is, you know, you wanted that match with Mason Parris, and you didn't just want, like, you made a statement, like you majored him. Like everybody was tweeting after, like everybody from Ben Askren to you name it, like, dude, he just majored like the junior world champ from 2019, majored him. When you do that, what's your mindset going into NCAAs now?
My mindset going to NCAAs is probably the same mindset. I talked to my dad about it right after I got off the mat, and I called him in before he went to Big Tens. He was like, in order for you to win the Hodge Trophy or even be close, you would have to major Mason Parris. Yeah. And I told him, I was like, the time's going to come. Let's just wait. I was like, if I win, I win, which I always knew I would win against him. But he was like, if you put a major, your name will be in the same category as Spencer Lee officially. all the doubters, all the people who believed in I could be right there, like are actually jumping on the train. And so my focus going into the NCAA tournament is I got tech for everybody. It's legitimate. It's very legitimate. I can do it, and
why don't you pin some guys? Why you got to tech fall everybody?
I just like tech fall. I do. I'm not good at pinning. I'm not good at pinning. Like I don't know how, like Bo back in the day would pin everybody. I don't know how.
So I actually said this today. I think about 80% of Bo's pins were Bo pinning the guy, and 20% of Bo's pins were the person wanting no part of Bo Nickel. Like they already knew they were getting pinned before the match started.
I don't know how you especially, like you guys would do it. And I like go on the mat and I'm like, I'll be up like 10-1 in the first period. And I'm like, okay. And Eggum looks at me like, let's try to get the fall. And I'm like, all right, I can run a bar, but I can't fold over a 270-pound dude. Like it's hard. Right.
Well, you were cradling guys and stuff. You know,
yeah, that's
we could slap some cradles on, things like that.
I need to get one.
And I had said too, and I think CENZO and I just said this 20 minutes ago before you hopped on, like looking at the bracket, I mean, you could have a quarter with Kirk Foley, a semi with Colton Schultz or Tony Cassiope, and a final of Mason Parris. Like Spencer Lee, absolutely incredible wrestler, and it's not his fault at all, but his competition isn't what yours is this year. Like, and I told CENZO and I tweeted it out, like if you walk through this bracket like you've been doing all year, there's nobody who cannot make the argument that the Hodge Trophy is yours. Is that your mindset? NCAA is like, this is strictly about, you've obviously already beat all these guys. You've won Big Tens. You're undefeated. You beat Mason Parris, who you're likely going to have in the finals. Like, is that the mindset? Is I want the Hodge?
Yeah, that's been the mindset since I stepped on the mat my first match. I think, but right now it's looking really, really realistic. I think those are going to be great competitors, and I think we'll see who makes it to the quarters. I mean, Jordan Wood's a great wrestler too. Cassiope's in the mix, and he's I don't think he's lost to anyone besides me and Michigan. So, I mean, my mindset going in is just dominate. I just got a bad tendency of like I want to kill somebody on the wrestling mat, and it's like it's like that's how like we grew up wrestling. We just wanted to break you in front of everybody, and I think I'm gonna have to put it on display right now and just wrestle my match and wrestle as hard as I can.
This is a question, like for me personally, how did it feel wrestling at Big Tens without fans there, like in a tournament setting, like with, you know, kind of like an empty arena?
It was actually nice. There was no favoritism. It was you and the other guy on the mat. Besides all the family that was there, It was actually nice to hear your own self like wrestling, and you can hear your coaches talking. There's not 10,000 people booing you if you do something garbage or
see, I love that though, dude. Like
it was really nice. Like it was perfect.
Interesting.
The Penn State blue mats topped it off too. It was just wow.
Yeah, you know, we brought those in. Those were all brand new.
Perfect mats.
You know, we worked hard. The NLWC worked hard to make sure that those mats were good. They were a little too soft, I want to say. But
they were
a little too soft. What can you do about
beautiful
it?
mats. I love the blue.
Hey,
by the way,
I appreciate it, man.
Speaking of mats, after watching the Mateo Pellicone this weekend, I always want to ask somebody this. Those international mats feel like a tarp, not a wrestling mat. Are they extremely different?
They're just like wrinkly. Like they're literally just like a tarp on a cushion on a hardwood floor.
Like.
Yeah. That's all it is. It's like it's nothing special. The mats
does it feel different wrestling on them?
Yeah, it's just the way it hits and the way you land just sounds different, but it feels the same.
Makes sense. So CENZO asked Lovett this question, and I'll ask you this question. I'll steal it from him. Aside from yourself, who from Minnesota are you most excited for in NCAA's next week?
First from Minnesota, I'm excited to see is probably Braden Lee. I think Braden Lee can put some points on the board and make it really far in the tournament. Well, 157 is a hard weight with Ryan Deacon, especially in Hayden Hidlay. But I think Brayton has shown that he is a top 3 contender, top 4. And I think if he can open it up really right away and just give 7 minutes a hard on the gas tank, I think he can come out on top of a lot of these matches.
I think so too. I watch him and he's he's one of those guys where if he's, pushing the action, he can be very, very good. He can score a lot of points.
Of course, yes.
Yeah.
It's funny too that you mentioned not pinning people. It's kind of funny because it seems like you see right now the guys who are focused on the Olympic trials too, that are kind of keeping it more freestyle centric on the folk style mat. Like you're getting a ton of takedowns. You're taking someone down, you're kind of letting them up, and you're toying them, letting them down again. Have you been practicing at all, focusing on freestyle, or is it right now just 100%? I want to dominate folk style, and that's that.
I think right now it's 100% dominating folk style. Yeah. Riding guys on top is the key for me right now. Getting that first takedown and getting that minute of riding time is the key. Guys, if you get that first minute of riding time, guys I've seen a lot of guys I wrestled like have shattered first period, and just like your arms get gassed. But I think the transition to freestyle is not very tough. Besides getting gut wrench, you just got to maintain like resting on your feet and basic defense. But right now it's 100% folk style.
That makes sense. What would you prefer to do to somebody? A gut wrench or a half? If you want to bar someone or gut wrench.
After boring. Like,
I'm going to go gut wrench too. Like a half.
Freestyle is way
like
more
like a half Nelson, like a camper half, like the little kids that come in for camp and they throw power halves in.
Yeah, like you see like Spencer do it and just like power somebody and it looks fun.
So like you got to understand that there's like two people that could do what Spencer does on top, like with that bar half, and that's him and Logan Stieber, and that's about it, like ever.
Why is that?
Literally, I don't
know. I have no idea.
I only watched 2 matches of like the Big Ten finals, and it was Roman, just because me and Roman are really good friends.
Mm-hmm.
And Spencer, I just watched Spencer and I'm just like, wow, like I don't understand how that happens.
No, and it's like he gets taken down and Twitter explodes. Like gets
Literally.
taken down and Twitter's like, oh, Spencer got taken down. I'm like, and then he texts him and still he just won like 21-3. Yeah, but he got taken down. Like
Terry Brands is screaming. Spencer's up by 300 points. Terry Brands.
Did you see that video? Any shot you saw the video?
I didn't see it.
There's a video on Twitter of Brands, and you can hear him for like 30 seconds. It's just a 30-second video of like things he's yelling to one of the other team's coaches, like "You're a cheater, you're a politician, you don't want to wrestle." It's one of the funniest.
They don't like hard wrestling. No one likes hard wrestling. Iowa likes hard wrestling.
They love it.
They love it. They really do.
They love it.
Yeah, man.
But I think going off of the Spencer getting taken down and how Twitter blew up, it just shows like the impact and popularity that he has. If you can take him down, it's like a massive deal. Like if you can say if someone beats Spencer, that wrestler will be famous.
Yeah.
No
famous
doubt.
in the sport of wrestling for about a cool few weeks, probably a few months.
Yeah.
And
until next year.
Until Spencer comes back. But like if a lot of the wrestlers beat some of these people, like a lot of us are verified on Instagram, had a lot of followers. And if one of us loses, Flow Wrestling is going to gas it up. And that wrestler will turn from nobody to, he can be on the Olympic team in about 5 minutes.
Right. Yeah. And even after that, so say Spencer loses. I mean, just
not going to happen.
Yeah. Just say for the sake of this conversation.
For the sake of the conversation.
Spencer goes down. That guy's famous for, like you said, a few weeks, maybe even till next year. But Spencer's still Spencer after that. You know what I mean? He doesn't go down to like he's not as good anymore. No, he's still Spencer Lee. Like,
but the thing is, like, just the way Twitter and the world works nowadays, like people try to create such narratives on us.
Mm-hmm.
Like if you do get taken down, like, he can exploit him in every position. And it's just like, then you got to go through, I hate going through my Twitter. The amount of like BS that people are saying on Twitter is like, is wow. And like, especially before like the Big Ten, it was just like, cause they would just send me like a bunch of garbage messages. My mentions would just be people like, he's trash, he's cocky, he's this. But like you guys, obviously people don't know me outside of wrestling. They just see like the impression I put on a map. But like a lot of people that see me like in real life would never say nothing like that. And it's just like, people make burner accounts just to hate on us, and it's like it's weird that like 50-year-old dudes with their kids like this smiling are like, yeah, this kid's a bum. But
yeah,
just how it goes.
It is how it goes, man. It really is.
Yeah,
they call you a bum, then they send their kid to a camp where you're teaching. Yeah, where you're teaching all the technique, and they pay a bunch of money for it. So
literally.
And going back to the comment about somebody beating Spencer, I think a good example of that is Nick Marable beating Jordan Burroughs. And then his streak of 69-0, Nick wins. And within a couple weeks, maybe a month, nobody talks about Nick. Nobody talks about that match. The conversation is what Jordan's accolades are. If somebody were to say Nick Marable right now, you would think, oh, maybe the Jordan Burroughs match. But it's because of, like you said, it's Jordan Burroughs' presence that elevated that conversation, and that's what's happening now. So, yeah, it's man. Last time you were on the podcast, you said your intent was to come through, win everything, win a Big Ten, win an NCAA, win an Olympic title, go WWE. That's still the intent.
You had to mention the last one. You had to mention the last one.
I didn't even hear what I said.
He mentioned it.
I know he mentioned it. Like I said, if life looks great, then you gotta take the best what you can take. But I don't know. But we're gonna take it 1 week at a time. Next week is the week to win. I see myself doing great numbers at the NCAA tournament. Tech Falls. We need pins most definitely. But I see myself running through this bracket really and putting on a highlight show for ESPN and the world to see, no matter who gets put out in front of me. And the Olympic trials too. I know Olympic trials is gonna be tough. Wiz is gonna come with a whole new special game plan, and all respects to him. Of course, he's the first legendary heavyweight that I really watched, and so it's gonna be great. I'm grateful to wrestle against him again, but WWE, time will come.
Dude, I just look at was that the last one I brought up?
Yeah,
I like how you act like you don't know.
Yeah. I honestly don't even remember. I just talk and then I'm like,
WWE was definitely last, yeah.
So
yeah, it was.
But I'll be honest, the reason I think I bring it up is because you're the fact that Paul Heyman, I'm a WWE guy. I grew up watching pro wrestling. The fact that Paul Heyman will take a post of you winning a Big Ten championship and sharing it, or even the number one seed, he's posting out Gable's the number one seed. Would you expect anything different? He's a Paul Heyman guy. That would rev me up like nothing else. I mean, that's why I think it's so relevant.
No, it's what he does with the social media stuff and hosting the champs like Lesnar and Roman Reigns. He does a lot of great things and boosts people's social status a lot. You see what he does with Roman Reigns right now, and just how he created Roman and elevated him onto a new level. But I think Paul's a good dude. He shows me a lot of love. I think he believes that I can be the next solidified thing and the next big money prize man, which I hope I can be. But WWE's fun, but I think my ultimate goal is to get there. Then I want to go into some movies.
Really?
Yeah, like I said, I love The Rock, and so the movie scene is my ultimate hit goal.
That'd be cool,
pretty
man.
Cool.
That'd be very cool.
That's really cool.
Not no fighting, nothing like that.
I think I would have to fight people just for the sake of me and people saying oh, can he fight? He used to wrestle back in the day. You know how it goes. It's just another door that opens. But I think for my headspace right now, I want to go into the WWE and get into the movies and end up like The Rock.
Hey, that's not.
Yeah, it's not a bad. He's on every magazine cover ever.
That's not a bad idea either. But I do want to fight. Yeah. It's just a matter of when I would fight and who against who. But I want to put on the gloves one time.
Yeah, I don't see anything wrong with that. I mean, I know Ben Askren's always down to throw on the gloves one time. So take on one of the Paul brothers too.
Yeah,
never know.
Why not?
It
doesn't even have to be
the other Paul brother.
Fighter. Oh yeah, I should.
Yeah,
I mean
something like that.
But you don't even have to fight a UFC fighter. People are just fighting anybody nowadays, and
they care about the storyline. That's why Ben Askren and Jake Paul is so big right now. It's the storyline. You're either rooting against Jake Paul or you're rooting to see if he can beat someone. Like it's wild. And speaking of storylines, a couple weeks ago, I think it was on Twitter, Jacob Cassar said he was thinking about going to the Olympic trials. Have you talked to him at all? He's obviously in NXT right now. He's training WWE. Like, have you talked to him at all?
I've not talked to him at all, but I know he's in close contact with Briscoe.
Yep.
And Briscoe is another one of the guys that like looks down on me and checks in on me. And I mean, all good things. I know Casper's doing his job over there, and hopefully he can start getting put in the ring soon. I haven't seen him in a match yet, but I've seen him like on the outside.
Yeah.
And I think they're trying to build him in at the right time. And so I think he has a body for it. He has the look. He looks like John Cena, to be honest.
He kind of does, right?
He looks like John Cena, like perfect. And I think he's gonna step on the scene and get big really soon, I think. But I haven't talked to him about it. But if he does show up to Olympic trials, I want him first match.
That would be the ultimate storyline. I think the way that WWE could recall that would just be awesome. And Jerry Briscoe's an amazing guy. I had him on this podcast about a year ago, and he came on and he was telling me stories. And I remember getting off the podcast and telling my wife, like, I can't believe I just got to do that. Like, I grew up watching the Montreal Screwjob and all the things when he was on the WWE. And now to talk to him about that, like, all right, what did Vince tell you here and there? Like, that was surreal. And you could tell, like, he kept going back to the NCAA guys. Like, we're talking WWE, and he kept going back to how exciting guys like you are and how these guys coming up right now, like, the fact that you and Casper and others can do backflips is just stupid. Like, I weigh 215 and I think about it and I'm just like,
yeah, no, I've never attempted a backflip
ever. Damn.
Like,
what made you ever start doing a backflip?
I did one when I was younger in the living room. And I just
randomly
I flipped one day and I landed in the living room. I was a big little kid back in the day. The living room floor might have collapsed a little bit, but so I think I remember my mom sent me outside and I was in the grass and I was like, come watch me do a flip. So I did a flip and I back handspringed it. And the rest from there, I was banned up 90 plus. So like when I was probably like 100 pounds of like 7, 8, just flipping. And everything's been a step.
After you won the last state championship in high school, I still see that video circulating, going viral from random places.
It's great. That video, I think that video kind of took who Gable was and kind of pushed it into a new area of wrestling. And so the real Gable era that entered into college.
Yeah, and we just gave Rich the opportunity to plug your TikTok. Are you still on TikTok?
I'm still on TikTok, but not really. I normally just post like wrestling highlights, but here and there, me and my homies would do a dance video. But other than that, not really.
CENZO, what's the one you said?
Oh, I said Corvette.
Do you know what the Corvette is?
Oh, yeah.
Sure. No, hey, was
I know that one.
Yeah, that was the one that Juju Smith-Schuster got like hated on for. If you
because
he would dance him at the center of the field. Yeah, people went crazy and they would like mess him up like Corvette. Like, I just thought it was funny.
Yeah, I've never heard about a Corvette. All right, Gable. Well, we're super excited. I don't know. You're weighing 141 next week, and NCAA's is just going to be stupid. I think they're the two weights to watch. I think the entire tournament is amazing, but I think those are two of the weights that people are going to leave. Really talking about final words for next week, NCAA's. Your thoughts?
My final words would probably be I'm just ready to win. Whoever gets put out in front of me, I got a good 7-minute gas tank now that you're gonna have to handle. But I mean, I'm looking forward to rematches. I'm looking forward to everything. I think I'm gonna take care of my business and try to get that Hodge Trophy.
Like it.
I love it. All right, guys.
I love it. You love it. We all love it.
Yeah, we all love
it.
If you're, I don't know if anybody listening doesn't follow Gable yet, because like we said, 151,000 strong in the Gable Army on Instagram. But follow him on Instagram, Twitter. Follow CENZO. Follow me if you want. There's gonna be a great guest. That's it for Bash Mania 106, guys. Thank you. Talk soon.
Later.
See ya.
And the beat goes on.